Thank you, Peter. So actually, it's right now one name, but it was really a cooperation of so many people and so many names that you wouldn't have a time in this conference to see them. But I am Tiina, and my participation in this project was in the fields of communication and media. And also on the stage is Henry, who was involved from the quite beginning. And I'm just going to go and tell you about what we did. But the basis first is that our everyday world, the physical world, and our mental world is shaped by visions from different people. And once a vision is shared between several people, and then often it becomes possible to make this vision a reality, a part of our everyday world. So I'm going to tell you a story about how some people got together, just normal people, not from any organization or corporation, just people from different backgrounds, different places, and they discovered that they shared some vision about one country, and they decided to share it and see what starts to happen. And so this is a story about a vision and people and what you can do. So instead of nice perfumes, I'm going to talk about you something which doesn't have usually that nice smell. I'm going to talk about illegal garbage. Because of the interconnectedness of our mental worlds and visions and our physical, real world, you could say that everything you see around you has a reason or comes from something. Same thing is with garbage. It's a collective decision to have this kind of environment around you, and it's never just a physical sphere. So where did the vision come from, and what's it all about? Is that Estonia is a small country with only 1.3 million people, and more than half of its territory is covered with forests. That should make a really nice environment to live in. I mean, not so many people and so many trees, so it seems like a nice country to live in. But instead of this, we had a reality of this. So there was something clearly wrong. Who could enjoy living in an environment filled with these kind of places? And people usually, the thing with the vision is, and the notions, is that very often people think about things on their own. They make remarks. But at the moment when they start to share these visions, that's when things started to happen. So all together in Estonia, there was this, how do you say, slow invasion of garbage. I could tell you about the background, but the one thing that was clear was that the garbage is a mental problem. There were a bunch of people who didn't respect their surroundings, who didn't appreciate the nature, what they had. And then there was a bigger bunch of people, the rest of them, who didn't care enough to point out that this is not their vision of a country to live in. So all together in Estonia, we started to talk about this. Firstly, with our friends, with the people close to us, to say that this is wrong. There should be something done about it. And we actually mapped one area in Estonia to see what is the real extent of the problem. And based on that mapping of one certain area, we made analysis about all the country. And we came up with this struggling amount of garbage littering our everyday environment. And as I said, it was a environmental problem. We didn't tackle it as as purely environmental problem. Of course, you know, if you have a disease, there are many symptoms, and that was one of the symptoms. So we wanted to shake people up, you know, because if you want a real change, you have to shake people up mentally. And you don't do it by engaging small groups of people, cleaning after the other people, you know. That's how it's done very often. And it looks nicer afterwards, but it doesn't last long because the problem is still there. So how to make people stop? So some people who share this vision that something has to be changed, they realize that it has to be something drastic to also get to people's minds who never thought about environmental issues, and to make it matter to whole society, not just activists. So they figured out a very simple plan. There was an amount of garbage in the country, and they decided, why not make it crazy? Why not make it impossible? Let's say that if the initiatives so far dealing with the garbage problem had been local and carried out in by separate groups of people in separate areas. But what if we all come together and we say that this is something we want to change? And to get this amount of garbage out of the country in one day, we realized that we needed to engage 40,000 volunteers. The difference in numbers here is the indication that sometimes your vision becomes bigger than you would have thought. So where did we start? We start from, if you look at the mental sphere, there was no public acknowledgement of the problem. Nobody was discussing that there's garbage. Sure, you could go to everybody, we talked about it, our friends, our possible partners. Everybody had something personal to say. Around my house, there's this area where it's very ugly and it's disturbing me all the time, but wow, how come anybody never thought about this project before? It was something that everybody could personally relate to and maybe even had thought about, but nobody had brought it into the table. Also, the garbage was not, there wasn't any collective analysis done, like what is the extent of the problem in the whole country level. And of course, there were still some continuing people who were going on with the process of littering. So what was the first task? First task was the main thing, seeding the idea to gather the support and make people share the vision that it can be changed. So you always have to, because there was not so many of us. It started with a meeting of 4 friends, but after a few weeks it was meetings with 20, and by the end of the project there were more than 700 people involved directly. So we started to talk to people who could influence others, whose opinion, who are used to have opinions about society, and who like to think and talk about issues concerning larger part of the society.